There is two stories people tell about their exes and they sound like processing, but none of them are. Here's what the story you tell actually reveals about you and not about them. So the first type of story is kind of like the villain ex, like the bad ex. Like they were like possessive, they were jealous, they were like toxic, everything. When you tell that story, you just become the victim, and by being the victim, you feel like outside of the events and there is no learning for you from that relationship. You just happen to be the victim, and so there is no learning. So you're not getting out of the relationship with something that you can improve for your next relationship. Then there is the other story, which is kind of like the opposite, which is kind of like the Saint X. Like you saw your ex like the best person in the world. They were like so great, they were like so nice, they were like so good, etc. In that case, you're not the victim, but you're the broken one. So that's kind of like the same thing. You're not getting out with some learning out of your relationship because you feel that they were good and they were great and you were the one with the problems. But you're not saying this as you were the one with the problems that you have to fix. You were like, oh, I was the one with the problems. They were good. So they're fine. This is on me. But this is not the full picture. Both of those stories are like different and totally the opposite, but they do the same thing on you. They prevent you to realize that you can make choices and there is still things that you can and you should learn from your past relationships. So what an honest version of your past stories will look like. That's pretty simple. There is not just one character. There is like two persons involved with two different roles and two different responsibility in what happened during the relationship. So try to remember like their behavior, but not only their behavior, like your behaviors, like whatever the story you tell yourself that they were good or bad, there is a moment where the bad person was good, because if not, you will not be in a relationship with them. And there were also moments where that good person was also kind of bad, if I can say, because if everything was perfect, why you're still not together? So think about like those moments and also think about your own behaviors and your own feelings, like what kind of things you have done, because you did not do everything wrong. You cannot just be like, oh, they were all bad or all good. This is mixed. This was a relationship and they were like the two of you inside of that relationship. So you have to be more honest about what happened, what you did and what they did. The goal of doing this is not to like be sorry for them or like to forgive them what they have done, whatever happened. The goal is not also to get back with them or to tell like a better story like for them. All of that is a process that you're doing for you that allows you to do the right next move for your future relationships. You can then ask me, well, why this matter for my future relationship? Like, it matters a lot actually, because however you see your past relationship, your last relationship, this will kind of like frame how you will see your next relationship. For example, if you see your ex as a villain and like a bad person, etc., there is a higher chance that you end up in your next relationship with someone that is exactly the same without even realizing. And on the opposite side, where you were like, my ex was like so good, so perfect, and etc., and you think you're the bad person, then in your next relationship you will be like, I should not aim for something that high. I should not aim for someone that was like so good like my ex, because I do not worth it. And you can see how like both sides of the spectrum is actually bad for you, because this is not the reality. So this is why you have to do this work or putting back your story with your ex into reality, like the real thing that happens, what was your responsibility, their responsibility, and not trying to go with the extreme of like they were perfect or they were like super bad. Again, the goal of doing this is to actually process your past relationship. By telling like a wrong story, first, you're not properly processing your past relationship and you're putting yourself in a position of failure for your next relationship. Doing this work and be clear and honest about it helps you to actually move on and do the right decision for your next relationship. If this video was somehow helpful for you, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. I see you soon for another video, and until then, take care and drink your water.